as well as Professor Swaran Singh from the School of International Studies, JNU. Professor Singh, I want to come to you first. Donald Trump now wants to take Cuba in one form or the other. Is this mere rhetoric, or are we looking at a dramatic shift in US policy, one that of interventionist, where US goes and decides to take over the countries it feels like?
Right from day one, President Trump has been determined to undo the détente that President Obama had brought in relationship with Cuba. This is partly driven by the Cuban voters in his own Florida, which are most of them are strongly anti-Castro. But he had categorized this as a package deal of triocard tyranny of Venezuela, which is already an operation has taken place there, Cuba, and also Nicaragua along with this. And if you forget Iran for a moment, the last year's national security strategy had clearly outlined the whole focus now shifting to Western Hemisphere, and we talked about how Monroe Doctrine had become Donorow Doctrine. So that has been an ongoing exercise where he is completely undone something that President Obama had done after long years of secret parleys going on in Canada, facilitated by Pope Francis, opening relationship to allowing remittances, travel and so on. And Cuba is an attractive destination for American travelers. And that was completely undone even during the first term of President Donald Trump. He had tightened the remittances, stopped travel, curtailed all diplomatic engagements, etc., etc. But meanwhile, he got engaged with Ukraine and with now with Iran. He had kind of felt distracted from this, something that is on his mind all the time. And I often think that people in our generation are in that sense unique to see President of United States of America, having the conversations that you hear often on television, the way he speaks, that he can do anything he wants. There is no compunction he has. So yes, Cuba is another very, very weak case. It's a fairly weak infrastructure, weak leadership. You mentioned President Miguel Diaz-Canel has been in power from 2018, but their power infrastructure particularly is weak because this was largely Soviet built, and no modernization has taken place since late 70s, early 80s onwards, once Soviet Union collapsed, and it depends enormously on diesel and oil kind of fuel that it requires. And if United States can put a blockade around it, it can make really this economy collapse. And they are used to blackouts. Of course, once again we are noticing the tightening of the whole access to energy by United States is leading to more and more blackouts in Cuba. And it's not something that President Trump cannot do. It's definitely going to be if I can say, easier than dealing with Iran in that sense. So this could also be a kind of distraction for a quick clincher to again, he's constantly in search of some big success for himself to become part of history, which he has not found any such thing so far. So this could be another thing on his mind, that if he can do similar operation as he did in Caracas.
Stopping 9